Good afternoon, everybody. How is everybody doing? I wasn't quite ready there for at the end with the music, so sorry I kind of cut it off quick and came right on. But me and Mia are here today. I've got my partner with me, so once Vincent gets home here in a second, like probably maybe 10 minutes, you'll hear her get off the chair. So she wouldn't leave. I tried to kick her out before the live. I was like, Mia, come on. And she wasn't having it. So she's here for now. So you can enjoy watching her sleep in the background. That's what she does best. So hopefully everybody's having a good day. It's Thursday, isn't it? Thursday, yeah. I keep thinking it's Friday for some reason, but it's not. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. But I saw that Cheryl was in here earlier and Glowbug and Jan was in here, but she's still in here. And all things serious, Eddie's in here. Hey, Eddie. Hey, Judy. Oh, yes, Judy. Yep. She said, oh my God, I just saw where Carly Russell's mom went after JLR. It was too funny because Carly and her mom were chomping on gum at the courthouse. I'm on his side because she grabbed his camera. Yeah, I think Carly tried to do it too. And I was like, oh my Lord. I actually commented under his tweet. I said, this is the best one yet. Because we've seen him at Alec Murdaugh's, trial a couple times. We heard him there. Where else did we hear him? We heard him at another hearing. I forget the other hearing, but we heard him somewhere else too. And I'm like, man, he's everywhere. PKC said, I'm not late for a change. And hey, Be Happy. Hey, Music City Mom. Welcome in, everybody. So it's going to be a little bit of a different live because we're here during the day. But, I do that to you guys here and there. I like to keep you on your toes. If you'll see, I'll bring Nancy closer, but she does have a scarf on now. She is prepared for fall. It's a black scarf. It goes with her outfit. It's the only scarf that I had out still like from last winter that I didn't pack away. So that's Nancy's new scarf for now. Hey, Tori. Hey, Roseanne. Welcome in, guys. So I did have a couple of things I was going to show you before I show you the podcast. But if you guys don't mind just taking a second to hit the like button, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content, appreciate the content. And I'm going to put in our membership link if you would like to join our channel membership. It's a great way to, give back to the channel. And it's a great way to just be a member. You get cool emojis, members only lives, all that cool stuff. So good perks. Hey, Jesus Loves Me. Welcome in. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Sharon. If I missed anybody, welcome. Oh, see, Salas, I missed Jess. Shell. Man, I'm missing everybody. Are you doing your lives early now? I don't know, Shell. We're just mixing it up for today. Hey, Sharon, welcome in. Oh, it's for 72 degrees in Oregon. Wow, it's beautiful there. Wow. It was 75 here yesterday. I was like, oh, wait, maybe that was today. I think it's 75 today, too. Oh, there goes one dog. We might have another dog. I was going to check. Look at me. I'm checking the weather now. Just like you guys care about what the weather is here. Oh, it's 75 today. It was 79 maybe yesterday. It's been really warm the last couple of days, which is weird because I packed away all my summer stuff. And of course it's still warm because we got that little cold front. So let me bring this stuff up. It'll be a little bit easier. Don't forget to say hello to someone above you and below you while I'm looking here at my notes. So today we're just going to revisit the Idaho 4 case. Since, Nancy Grace came out with a new podcast. She talks about the newest updates regarding like the Airmail article that Howard Bloom came out with last week. She goes over that. So if you're not familiar with the Airmail article, then just stay tuned because you're going to get familiar with it. I'll get you all caught up. So. But I do believe that this is a bonus episode from Nancy Grace because it's only available on her podcast and not her video version, like through Fox Nation. So, but I do have like pictures and stuff, so it'll be visually better for you guys. But I wanted to read over this article because I thought this was really interesting. I read over this earlier today, and I actually had this up for a different live that we were going to do. But I figured I'll share it with you guys now. I just thought it was a good read through. It kind of touches on the court proceedings and kind of how we got here. My dog's walking around. Sorry, guys. Let me make sure I just have my, okay, I have the cancellation on. I was just making sure it didn't echo too much in your ears because the dog is walking around. And thanks again for being here. I figured we'll read through this article, get people in the chat, and then, we'll go from there. Welcome in, everybody. Oh, wow. Hey, Linda. Hey, Karen. Hey, Pam. ALR's in here. Catherine's in here. Everybody's in here. Well, look at that doodle, Mom. I love that. I love it when you guys tell me where you guys are from, too. I'm from Ohio. I usually have an Ohio shirt on, to tell you. But today I don't. So this little article here, it says, we'll read it real quick. It says, the capital murder trial of Bryan Kohberger. Actually, let me get my my chat right here so I can see y'all, too. It says, and this came out, I like to tell you when these come out. This came out, I believe, on the 9th, the 8th. Yeah. Okay. So the capital murder trial of Bryan Kohberger would have started last week on October 2nd if everything had gone as planned. Instead, those invested in the trial have an infinite weight on their hands after Kohberger waived his right to a speedy trial in late August. Kohberger was arrested in December in Pennsylvania in connection with the fatal stabbing of University of Idaho students Madison Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves, both 21, and Zana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, both 20. He is facing 4 counts of first-degree M and 1 count of felony burglary after a plea of not guilty was filed on his behalf by Judge John Judge of Idaho's 2nd Judicial District in Latah County. Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson is seeking the death penalty. Pretrial hearings scheduled for September 22nd were also postponed until October 26th because of an unspecified illness, further adding to the delayed proceedings. With no end or start in sight, here's what's transpired in recent months as the prosecution and defense work towards the eventual start of Kohberger's trial. So his next court date, if you guys aren't aware, it is on October 26th, and that is they're trying to get the grand jury thrown out. They're trying to get the whole indictment thrown out. So we will see, what happens on the 26th. I'm very curious to know. Because I feel like this is the longest that we've went almost through court dates. Like, I feel like they've been a little bit shorter, or we've heard something. Like, Google just turned on. Not talking to you, Google. Oh, it did. It really did. That's funny. Why did the trial date get delayed? So maybe this will help some of us that don't know. So under the 6th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, every resident has the right to a fair and speedy trial. This means that the accused must be brought to trial within a reasonable amount of time after arraignment. Under Idaho state law, criminal defendants must receive a trial within 6 months if they don't waive their right. Waiving the right to a speedy trial extends the legal process and gives the defense more planning time. That's what occurred with Kohberger. Ann Taylor, Kohberger's lead public defender, told the court that the scheduled start date of October 2nd did not give the defense's legal counsel adequate time to prepare. Taylor said the defense wishes to postpone the trial date just once, while Thompson called it a smart move. Boise-based criminal defense attorney Edwina Elcox previously told the Idaho Statesman that the amount of evidence and complexities involved in Kohberger's case made it virtually impossible for the trial to start on time. A date has not been set for trial. Man, I cannot read that. A date has not been set for the start of the trial, but it could be in 2024, which I think it'll be in 2024. Oh, thank you, Catherine. That's so sweet. She gave me $1.99. She said for the fur babies behind the scenes. Thank you. Thank you. If you have TikTok, guys, I did post a TikTok today. I had the dogs in it. It was cute. I was making the bed and they were messing it up. And welcome in, everybody. Hey, ALR. Hey, I'm faithful. Hey, guys. Welcome in, guys. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm glad this is your happy place. That makes me really happy. That does. That makes me happy. Actually, I'll tell you a quick story really quick. I had a lady come in my store during C word, and we were wearing the mask and everything. And she told me that my store was so clean that she felt safe there. And that made me feel so good. Made me feel so good, I was like, oh, she feels safe here. I don't know. It just made me feel good. So can the defense challenge the indictment? Kohberger was indicted by a grand jury in May on 4 counts of first-degree M and 1 count of felony burglary. Oh, there we go. Hold on one second, guys. let me get the dogs, or let me get the door. Hold on one second. Okay. You might hear them bouncing up and down for just a second because Vincent's home, but that's why they got up. They knew he was here. That's so cute. They always know. It's cute because they usually stand by the door. A grand jury is a group of 16 to 23 jurors whose job it is to determine whether there is probable cause to believe that an individual committed a crime. So it's not just your standard 12, you get 16 to 23 in this case. A grand jury can hear evidence, compel witnesses, and request documents in making their decision. But now Kohberger's attorneys plan to argue that the indictment should be thrown out on several legal grounds. That argument was supposed to be presented at the postponed hearing last week, which has been rescheduled for October 26th. When is that? A couple weeks? Yeah. Kohberger's defense raised concerns of bias among the grand jury in August. The defense also said there was lack of sufficient evidence and use of improper evidence in the indictment, and that the prosecution withheld evidence from the grand jury that would disprove Kohberger's guilt. The defense also argued that the Idaho Constitution demands a grand jury to use the same level of certainty as the trial, beyond a reasonable doubt. The grand jury operated on the lower legal threshold of probable cause, for which only 12 of the 16 selected grand jurors must support indicting the defendant. The prosecution's objection to the defense's challenges is filed under a court-approved seal, which keeps the arguments hidden from the public. I wonder what their argument is there. I wonder if they said, well, all 16 out of 16 jurors, said for probable cause. Like maybe they did go for probable cause, but I don't know. I want to read this again, just really quick. Like this says, Idaho Constitution demands a grand jury to use the same level of certainty as the trial. Well, if the grand jury operated, if that's true, then, then I don't know. Because if they're supposed to, it says the Idaho Constitution demands a grand jury to use the same level of certainty as the trial beyond a reasonable doubt. But it says the grand jury operated on the lower legal threshold of probable cause. So I don't know. It's interesting. What was Kohberger's alibi? Which I think we all know that one. The defense filed Kohberger's alibi, and I could tell you where I was on November 13th, because I hear a lot of people say that. Well, you can't tell me where you were November 13th. November 13th, between the hours of midnight and 5:27 a.m., I was here at home, sleeping. I know where I was. My phone could tell me too, and my watch, when it was working correctly. What was Kohberger's alibi? The defense filed Kohberger's alibi in early August, stating that Kohberger had a habit of going for drives alone, and that often he would go for drives at night. The defense claims that Kohberger was on one of those late night drives on the night of the killings last year, late November 12th into November 13th. Now I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to explain this how I think this is what I'm thinking. Because I say all the time that he was driving around for like 6.5 hours, and people are like, how do you know that? Because he was seen on camera at 5:27 a.m. and they're saying that he was driving late November 12th. So I put it out like 11 p.m. That is like 6.5 hours just driving around aimlessly. I don't know anybody that likes to drive that long. And I know a lot of people like to take drives. I know a lot of people. Hey, Riddler. Hey, Cat's Life. Welcome in, Debbie. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Nina. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. I can't see the chat very well when I'm reading, so if I missed you, I'm sorry. Where are we at? Okay. The defense claims that Kohberger was on one of those late night drives. Oh, what the heck just happened to the screen? Oh, okay. Don't know what happened there. I guess it just went down. I was like, why did it do that? Now I don't even know where we were. Okay. We were down here. Sorry. Okay. I want to make sure that we are at the right spot. Okay. What was Kohberger's alibi? There we go. The defense claims that Kohberger was on those late night drives on the night of the killings last year, late November 12th into November 13th, and that there's no specific witnesses to say where Kohberger was at that moment of the killings. Kohberger previously declined to provide a pretrial alibi after the state requested one, with his defense saying that the motion to provide an alibi was an attempt by the state to force the defense to open its work product files and let the state peek inside. Kohberger's defense said that the alibi filed regarding Kohberger's driving habits is the only one that can be firmly stated for now. So that's all they've got for now. Do you think that's a good alibi? Oh, that's a good idea, Jeff. Yeah, like you just take pictures. Like I was reading your comment. Where did it go? I can like see it over here. So I often take pictures to remind myself where I was on days and what time I was doing things. Sometimes at the beginning and end of the freelance job, I'll take pictures just so my invoices are correct. But yeah, I agree. Oh, my camera went off again. What the heck? Why is this doing this? Okay, we're gonna have to do something about that. Third time. Okay, give me just a second, guys. Sorry. You know, there I am. I might be like hitting something on accident whenever I do that. I don't know. Because I do hit the desk a lot with my chair to the point where like my chair arms are like rubbed off a little bit because I hit the chair. So that could be me doing that. But if it goes off again, sorry about that. But I agree. I often take just pictures just in general. And you would think that if you have a cell phone, say your cell phone's on airplane mode. Say if you have an Apple Watch or even like a Fitbit, that'll tell you like a lot of things, you know, like where you're at, what you're doing, if you're moving, if you're not moving. A Google Home, if you're at home, that would work. Your TV, if you were at home, it would kind of put you there if you're watching TV. But like if you're using like I use like Roku, things of that nature, like smart TVs. But yeah. Hey, Gigi. Yeah, no, Jeff does really good work. I've seen like your different like thumbnails and stuff that you've done. You do really good stuff. So it says, where are we at now? I keep like forget where Kohberger's defense said that the alibi filed regarding Kohberger's driving habits is the only one that they can firmly stated for now. So cameras in the courtroom. This is the next one. Kohberger's defense earlier this month argued against the use of still and video cameras in the courtroom, asserting that their product has been misused so far. Defense attorney Jay Lawson said cameras in the courtroom risked dehumanizing Kohberger and denying him the right to a fair trial. Logston also said the use of video could expose private notes and records on the defense table. Wendy Olson, who represents a media coalition, including the Idaho Statesman and Associated Press, said that cameras in the courtroom would help increase the public's access and understanding of the case. Judge said the pool camera operators in the courtroom are not a problem, but how other individuals use images could be troubling. Judge said he is considering an approach often used by the satellite television network C-SPAN, where a camera is staged at the back of the courtroom. He has not issued his decision. I wonder if C-SPAN is like, was that like Letitia Stouck's trial when they had like the one webcam like on her? Or that's different. C-SPAN's like the TV, right? The channel. So we'd have to watch it on C-SPAN? Can we do that? I don't know. Where's Core TV? Where's Vinny? Where's Vinny Politan? I need him. I don't like that. Because I don't know what they did in the Letitia Stouck case. Let me know. Yeah, C-SPAN's usually politics. That's what I thought. Okay. Let me see here. Thanks, Charla. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. A 6-hour plus hearing on August 18th was preliminary nominated. I can't even read now. By arguments about whether the state should hand over all the DNA records that led to Kohberger's identification through discovery. The arguments revolve around investigative genetic genealogy, which is the use of DNA on public genealogy websites in an investigation. Genetic genealogy was used in identifying Kohberger, although the prosecution said that police did not rely on it to issue any and perform any search warrants. Kohberger's defense, which wants the DNA records released, argued that the forensic sciences used to identify Kohberger are less than 5 years old and should give anyone pause when considering such a new science. Oh, thank you so much, Stacy. That's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for the super sticker. That's so sweet. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Victorine. Hey, guys. I used to do photo shoots for C-SPAN. Oh, really? Sometimes they were just one camera, but other times we set up 2 or 3. Oh, nice. Well, I know because I don't care to have a still shot. I could do it. I could do that. Like Letitia Stouck's trial was kind of, like just watching, but it was entertaining to watch her. So, I mean, we could at least watch her. But thank you so much for that super sticker. That's really nice. Where were we at now? Okay, now I don't know where we're at. I do keep losing my spot. Genetic genealogy was used to, okay, I already read that part. 4 witnesses have testified on behalf of the defense effort to obtain their records, and one attorney, Stephen Mercer, saying that the release of investigative genetic genealogy records is the minimum practice standard. But Idaho discovery rules means that the state isn't required to hand over the genealogy documents, according to Jeff Nye, chief of the Idaho Attorney General Criminal Law Division. Nye added that the IGG does not represent scientific facts or provide evidence proving Kohberger's innocent. Judge has yet to issue a ruling on if the state has to turn over the DNA records to Kohberger's defense. And so I think a lot of us have heard about the Airmail article by now. I think we're all caught up with that. I think so anyway. But if you're not, so basically Howard Bloom came out with a article. It was the 6th article in his series that he's been doing since, I don't know, a few months after the case started. We've read every Howard Bloom article on the channel. Some of them are okay. Some of them are very inappropriate. Some of them say some stuff that's very inappropriate. And then this last article was kind of like, I don't even know. Like, I wanted to believe some stuff because I was like, well, that's what made sense to me. But of course, we got to either believe all of it or none of it, I feel like. So I don't want to pick and choose what I believe in that article. But Steve Gonsalves did come out. The whole family came out and said that it was, a fake article. It does state in the article, though, like Howard Bloom says in the article that he never talked to Steve Gonsalves or Shannon Gray. He does state it in the article. I think a lot of people just maybe skipped that part of the article. They didn't read that part, or maybe they just read it and it didn't click with them, because a lot of people were taking this as like gospel. They were saying that the roommates were up and they were texting each other like while these murders were happening. And some of the stuff he was saying was like really, really out there. Like if it's true, that could, maybe hurt the case even. So, I don't know where he's getting his information from, but I did look something up because I was like, oh, I wonder if anyone came out with anything over that article. And Vinnie Politan had something to say about it. So I figured we would watch this before we start the podcast. It is, like I said, it's just a 2-minute video. It's Vinnie Politan from Court TV, just explaining that this is a false, report. So. And thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Welcome back. This is the part of the program where I reveal something else you need to know. And tonight it's something that's creating a lot of buzz in a lot of places. Let's take a look. But it's an apparent false report. This is coming from Airmail, which has an article, The Eyes of a Killer, that is saying that Steve Gonsalves, Kaylee Goncalves' father, has indicated certain things about this story. He says it's all false. Let me read you first from the article. This is from the article that Steve Gonsalves says is false. Yet Steve had been told that the 2 survivors had allegedly not only been awake while the killings had taken place, but they had heard everything. More astonishingly, his grand jury sources alleged that the 2 girls had been texting one another as the murderer methodically went from one room to the next. That is absolutely shocking, that the 2 survivors in that University of Idaho house were texting during the murders. But now we got a statement from the Gonsalves' family. As is common in these situations, people try to make money off of the dead. It's a free world and people can write and say pretty much anything they want these days. Most of the time, my family and I just ignore the chatter and the noise, but lines have to be drawn somewhere. I was recently sent an article on Airmail by Howard Blum describing Kaylee apparently quoting me and completely making up a fictional story about FBI letters, etc. Mr. Blum recently has used the murders to get back into the spotlight, appearing on an NBC show as well as a book he's writing. He has reached out through our attorney several times to speak to us, but we have declined. I just want to make it very clear to the public that we have not spoken to Mr. Blum about the death of our daughter. In his article, he writes as if he were Mr. Gonsalves and has gone through the tragedy of having a murdered daughter and what he's experienced and is still experiencing. There's nothing more grandstanding and a very, very poor attempt at getting attention. The piece is obviously fictional, but written in poor taste. The Gonsalves family would ask that everyone please respect the victims of this tragedy and continue to support trustworthy journalism. So if you're seeing these articles flash across your news feed, that the girls were texting each other, the two survivors in that house, while their four friends were getting murdered, it did not come from Steve Gonsalves. He says it is all fiction, a false report.
Sorry, guys. I was trying to actually log into my. Let me get back on screen. I was actually trying to log into my Facebook really quick because I guess there's that they did have a Steve Gonsalves or the Gonsalves family maybe put something out on their Facebook page, but it's funny because I read it on my passwords and I just need to. I forgot this password, so I had to redo it. So let me see if I can get on there to bring it up really quick. So I'd like to see what they said. I looked the other day and I think it was yesterday, and there wasn't anything. Is my camera? Oh, no, my camera's fine. That was an earlier message. Sorry. I thought this was the code. Give it a second, if not. Okay, there we go. Okay, that worked. Oh, thank you, Mystic Firefly. I actually can. Trying to think. Let me see if I can text Vincent. I'm like, hold on a second. Let me text him real quick. Yeah, I can get that name. It's a really dark, like gray. Okay, I'm just logging into Facebook over here to go to the Gonsalves' page. If I just search here, they're the first page that comes up. It's so sad. I never get on Facebook, ever. Is this the... Oh, is it the one from 4 hours ago? What is that? Let's read it. Wow, they have like pictures and everything. Okay. What is this? Let's go down a little bit and see. Oh, that's 2 days ago. How cute. How adorable. Okay, love it. So this is probably the one that you guys are talking about. It says, hello, friends and family. We long debated saying anything at all about recent events here, especially because we really do try to maintain a positive and safe space. But given how much support we have here, we felt we needed to ask for your help. We recently were made aware of some messages claiming to have fabricated texts from Steve, as well as trying to incite others to spread lies. Wow. While we understand the internet is a big place and people are free to say whatever they would like, we personally feel a line was crossed and would like to pursue further action. Wow. If anyone knows any more about these screenshots, knows who created them, what they said, etc., I would feel comfortable sharing with and would feel comfortable sharing with us. We would be extremely appreciative. Everyone has a right to their own opinion, but lives, careers, relationships, etc., can be ruined over maliciously spreading false information for no reason other than to be hateful. Wow. As always, thank you all and much love. Oh my gosh. Let me read the messages. So these are supposedly the messages that like Steve was sending, maybe. So this is apparently Macy May. Okay. It says, oh my God, Steve G is denying talking to Bloom, but that's a distraction. Bloom never said he spoke to him. He kept referring to messages he sent to others. I'm going to spread as many rumors about Steve G as I can. Will you help me? Wow. No, why would I help you spread rumors about a victim's family? And then here is a message that she replied to. It says, we made a bunch of fake screenshots pretending they were from Steve and sent them to that genius Bloom. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, let's just, where was that message? Okay, I guess we can't read it. He says, we made a bunch of fake screenshots pretending they were from Steve and sent them over to that genius Bloom who helped spread something. We need to shut him down. We made a bunch of fake screenshots pretending they were from Steve and sent them to that genius Bloom who helps spread our agenda. That is so wrong. Why are you doing this? So I wonder. Okay. I don't know who Macy May is, but wow. Okay, go back. I'm about to be reading these comments later, guys. I'm about to be reading through 400 comments because I think that maybe someone will know something, but I don't know. Oh, thank you, Jan, for gifted membership. Thank you so much. Oh, I thought I was on the screen. I'm not even on the screen this whole time. Look at me. People are terrible. People are terrible. Thank you for telling me about this, though. You know, like we're about to be into a year. Can you imagine? Oh, Gigi, yeah, like that is Ethan's sister's name, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know who. Yeah, I don't know who supposedly it's to. I mean, you know, maybe that person reached out to Steve and Christy because they were like, "No, I'm not doing this." I haven't, Nevada. I've heard of Dot, but I don't know who she is. Do you know what I mean? I didn't go down that rabbit hole, but I know it's a big rabbit hole to go down. Thank you so much, R. Rees. It says, love your channel, mods and chat. Great job. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Gigi was right. I think those who have created these attacks being a friend of the kids they are sicker than Bryan. Yeah. Like they're just, they might as well just package them up because it's like, you're running with this stuff. Like what? What? Oh man. Oh my Lordy. I feel so bad for this. I feel bad for all the families. I really do. But like, can you imagine being a father? Like, I know I mean, and one part of me thinks like maybe Howard Bloom was not trying to like, I don't know. But then the other half of me is like, well, no, he tried to put all that out because he did. You know, I don't know what to think about him because he's wishy-washy with me. His first article, he wrote about the girls. Okay, he wrote about Kaylee and Maddie, and he said something along the lines of the two blonde, beautiful girls, or something. Like the way he worded it was just like it was gross. It was just gross. It was very unprofessional. Like you're an author. Think of something better. Like I forget exactly what the words were, but they were disgusting. And I was like, because you guys get my expressions when we read things around here. And if you don't like me reading that kind of an article, wait till you get me reading a Howard Bloom article. I'd be stumbling all over all the words. So I'm going to check Nancy Grace's video one more time to see if she put out the video part. No, she didn't. Okay. So sometimes with Nancy Grace, she'll do a podcast and a video version. We'll usually wait around. We'll listen to the video version. But today we are going to listen to the podcast version. And I'm going to put pictures up because it's not available on Fox Nation. So let me pull it up here. And basically she's going to go over the Howard Bloom article. I haven't listened to this yet. I usually listen to them all before I listen to them with you guys. So this is a treat because I'm going to be able to, just kind of be with you guys and you can get my expressions or whatever. And then I'll have to move Nancy closer so you guys can see her because she has on a scarf today. Put me up here. So before I, before I go off of here, I'll crap her really quick. Yeah, what happened? Let me know if you need any help. Oh yeah, if you go in the Safari browser, I don't know why it has to be so difficult to become a member. They really try to get us, don't they? They make us work for it. They really do. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this on. The volume might be a little higher because I can't control the volume, but I'm gonna fast forward through the commercials if there's any in the beginning, and then we will. I'll put pictures up, so you'll have a visual to go with, the words, so you're not just staring at this this wording. But I will go ahead and read this paragraph here to you guys, or these couple paragraphs, because it does tell you what's going to happen in the podcast. But it says, a new report says 2 surviving housemates in the Moscow, Idaho rental home where 4 students were killed were awake and texting each other while the murders were taking place. The new information comes from Airmail.com, a weekly digital subscription service. The lengthy article attributes the information to someone on the grand jury that indicated Bryan Kohberger. The information was allegedly leaked to Kaylee Goncalves' father, Steve. Neither Gonsalves nor his attorney has commented or confirmed the information in the article. There is currently a restrictive gag order in place on the case. A statement released by the family, however, calls the claims a very poor attempt at getting attention and obviously fictional. As the investigation continues, prosecutors are asking for more of Bryan Kohberger's electronic footprint. The state is requesting customer information from multiple companies, including Amazon, Apple, and PayPal. Search warrants have been served asking for information related to the purchase of knives, but that's not all. The information requests include customer click activity pertaining to knives and accessories as well. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys. And if you guys don't mind just taking a second, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. We're really super close to hitting 12.5K subscribers on the channel. So it's very exciting. Takes a minute sometimes to go.
Before Sarah discovered,
It's no fun.
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Bryan Kohberger. It never ends with this guy. In the last hours, we learn more and more. But what information can be trusted? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thanks for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111. Listen to this.
A new report says 2 surviving housemates in the Moscow, Idaho rental home where 4 students were killed were awake and texting each other while the murders were taking place. The new information comes from Airmail.com. The lengthy article attributes the information to someone on the grand jury, which indicted Bryan Kohberger. The information was allegedly leaked to Kaylee Goncalves' father, Steve. Neither Gonsalves nor his attorney have commented or confirmed the information in the article. There is currently a restrictive gag order in place on the case. A statement released by the family, however, calls the claims a very poor attempt at getting attention and obviously fictional.
What, if anything, does it mean? With me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now, but that's the tip of the iceberg of what we are learning. Straight out to Professor of Forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, and star of a hit new series, Body Bags, with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, thank you for being with us. Joe Scott, I'm trying to make sense of the evidence we're hearing now. Now, according to this leak, I'm always suspicious of a leak, but it apparently came from a grand juror that heard all sorts of evidence we are not privy to. And the victim's parents are not privy to it. Now, granted, they know a lot more than we know, but I'm trying to make sense of this because it doesn't quite jive with what we've been told one of the surviving victims said. That she woke up in the night. Actually, let's hear it, Joe Scott, and then you analyze. Take a listen to our cut 567.
We do know at least one of the surviving roommates reported seeing something suspicious to the police. Court documents detail what the roommate reportedly heard and saw. The roommate was on the second floor of the 3-story house. She told police that she woke up around 4 a.m. hearing noises above her, thinking Gonsalves was playing with the dog. According to the probable cause affidavit, the roommate thought she heard Gonsalves say, "There's someone here." She looked out but didn't see anything. The roommate also reported she heard crying from Xana Kernodle's room and then heard a male saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." When she opened her door a third time, she saw a masked man leaving. He was dressed in dark clothing and had bushy eyebrows, and he left through the sliding rear door. She described him to police as not very muscular, but athletically built.
Joe Scott, what we're hearing right now claims that the surviving roommates were actually texting each other during the attacks. Does it jive with what we already know?
I don't necessarily think that it does, Nancy, because if that's the case, if they were texting back and forth and you've got all of this cross noise is what I'll call it, because we haven't really been able to kind of peg it down, have we, relative to what they were saying. You know, we hear this idea that she thought that she heard the dog being played with, okay, and that was the rumpus upstairs. And then she hears the crying and the person saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." There's nothing here of substance, you know, where we can actually hang our hat on intellectually, where we're talking about them texting back and forth. You know, how does this information come out? And my experience relative to grand jury information is they can, if information is leaked out like this, they can have your guts for garters at that point in time. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I can tell you right now, and Tara Malik, I think, is going to agree with me. She is high-profile lawyer, named Partner Smith and Malik, former state federal prosecutor. Tara, thank you for being with us. No grand juror is going to be dragged into court and questioned, "Hey, did you tell your husband about this?" And then he blabbed it at work. That's not going to happen. If this came from a grand juror, and for those of you just joining us, what we're talking about is actually crucial, if it's true or not true. No grand juror is going to get in trouble. Now, if it was a lawyer or a witness, say a cop, blabbing out of school, yeah, there could be sanctions. But Tara, I had an 87-year-old judge. He was a fantastic judge too. Let me tell you, Luther Alverson, sharp as a tack. He would always tell jurors, "It is your duty to make all witnesses speak the truth and impugn perjury upon no one." What that means in regular people talk is maybe that report is true and what the victims' families are saying is true, and they say that's not what happened. Because, Tara, what about the theory that they were texting as they were going to bed just before, like minutes before the attacks?
I agree with you 100%, Nancy. I think, you know, there's going to be, I would highly doubt that there would be any sort of repercussion to a grand juror who makes a offhand comment to a husband or spouse or whomever. The bigger issue to me is this allegation that one of the fathers of the victims may have somehow contacted this grand juror. I think that could be very problematic. As far as from an evidentiary standpoint, you know, if there were text messages being exchanged by surviving roommates during the course of the murders, that information would be highly critical for, I think, both sides. It could have the tendency of corroborating the timeline that the prosecution is trying to put together and piecing together through other pieces of information and evidence, like the phone pings and, you know, some of the observations of where this car may have traveled, and trying to put Kohberger there if there were other descriptions of the person who was committing the murders, other statements that were being made. And all of that would come in because if they are texting contemporaneously, so at the same time that these events are going on, all that evidence would be admissible at the time of trial.
I'm just having a hard time reconciling it, and I normally try to reconcile. I mean, back to you, Joe Scott Morgan. Hold on, Nicole Parton. I'm coming right to you. Joe Scott Morgan, how many nights, I mean midnight, or early morning before I would go to court, would I go back to a crime scene to try to reconcile what witnesses were saying. And guess what? Most of the time, I could reconcile it. For instance, one witness would say, I couldn't see a thing. And the other witness that saw everything was 4 feet away. Guess what? There was a giant bush, 10 feet tall, beside the home where that murder occurred. And it occurred outside beside another tree. So one witness didn't see anything and the other witness saw everything. And when I figured that out, I could then take a picture and get it corroborated on the stand and give it to the jury to explain the discrepancy in the witness's statements. That happened not with a tree, but with many other factual issues, Joe Scott Morgan, where both parties were speaking the truth. Their truth, the truth, as they saw it. So I'm trying to find a way to reconcile this. And I think it was Mr. Gonsalves said this did not happen. A grand juror did not say that. But apparently a grand juror said something like that. So I'm trying to reconcile, is it true? But I'm very curious when it comes to, suspicious when it comes to unnamed sources. Gonsalves isn't worried to go out there and go, this is what I know. But somebody that keeps their identity shrouded, I don't know who that source is. Why don't they want us to know the truth so we can question them? I find that a little sus.
Yeah, I do too. And one of the things it makes me think of is that somebody's trying to bait for more information to be drawn out, to kind of show that, listen, this case has been so shrouded relative to what has been revealed up to this point, as well it should be. And I know that you appreciate that as an investigator / prosecutor.
I do.
You don't need all of this data floating around out there.
Hold your horses, big man. You know why? True, the state has to hand over basically their whole file to the defense. Fine. It's under U.S. Supreme Court ruling Brady v. Maryland. Fine. But do I have to tell them my trial strategy? No, I don't and wouldn't. So you're so right, Joe Scott Morgan. When you go into court, you don't want the other side to have your playbook because you don't have theirs. And you've got to do what's best for your case and to get a true verdict. So you're right. You don't want things floating around out there. And I'm also curious, Karen Starr, renowned psychologist joining me out of Manhattan, why someone would leak something that wasn't true, because it just causes heartache for the family. Guys, for those of you just joining us, a new report in the Kohberger prosecution that the two surviving roommates, let's see their names, Nicole Parton joining me, crimeonline.com investigative reporter. The two survivors, Nicole, they're not commenting on this at all, are they?
They are not. They're not commenting at all. And that the timeline of what's being leaked doesn't line up. We know that one survivor says, I woke up around 4 and thought I heard something. I thought it was Kaylee and the dog. And now this leaked report is saying that the girls were awake. The survivors were all awake for 4:30 and they were texting each other. So none of it is consistent with the original reports that came out as far as what the survivors heard.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Joe Scott, before you run to your class, I want you to hear this. We'll circle back to whether that's true or not, but I have faith that Gonsalves is telling the truth as he knows it. More may come out at trial, and maybe he's wrong in the end, but I think he's telling the truth as he knows it on the facts he's been given. But now we're finding out that the state wants a lot more from Amazon and not just the Christmas list. Take a listen to 577 KREM.
Newly released court documents are revealing that police in the Moscow murders case are asking for information from several big tech companies.
The search warrants were obtained over the summer and are asking for the suspect in this case, Bryan Kohberger's customer information on Amazon, Apple, and PayPal. Prosecutors are asking for Amazon for their information to see if Kohberger bought, viewed, or was recommended any knives on their website. Police believe that a specific type of knife was used to commit the murders. A knife sheath with Kohberger's DNA was found at the crime scene. The murder weapon itself has still not been found.
Policy or a
You know what's interesting right there, and Joe Scott, I'm going to get into it with you about why the knife sheath is so important. They also want all of his clicks. All of his clicks. You know how I love going through a defendant's Google searches? Not just their Google searches, but everything they've searched. I want to find out what they're ordering, what they're watching, what they're reading, what they're interested in. Because it's, the eyes are the window to the soul. BS. I say your search history is the window to your soul. What you're interested in. Yeah, I swear there's something like that in the Bible, that where your thoughts are, where your heart is, so are your actions, right? I want to find out everything I can about Kohberger. And the clicks, the Amazon clicks. How many dozens of knives do you think he looked at before he ordered that one? And did the sheath come with it? Was it separate? Because he's pretty anal, right, Joe Scott? What am I going to learn in all those clicks?
The narrowing of a search, just like we do if we're working a case. He's looking for something specifically. And let me lay this on you. My wife, Kim.
You can thank her for everything you've become, by the way.
I know. And God bless her for putting up with me. I said, darling, I want one of these knives. She said, done. Guess what? She went to Amazon. I had it in a day and a half.
Why do you want one of those knives? So you can examine it?
Yes, I do. And I have it. And what I wanted was the knife so I could appreciate the weight. I've held, this is a K-bar knife, and it's specifically a USMC.
Guess what? I got one of those knives, so I could look at it. I was going to spring it on you later, but darn.
I didn't mean to bury the lead.
Yeah, you totally just knocked the wind out of my lungs. Go ahead, you and all your knife experts.
Wait, I'm going to check the searches of both of you.
I wanted to feel the weight of it. I did. And
I wanted to look at the handle.
Well, I wanted to understand the functionality of the sheath. And there's something I learned from the sheath, Nancy, because a lot of hay has been made over this, the fact that it's found in the bed. You've got this DNA that's adjacent to the snap. We don't know specifically where on the snap. I have my suspicions about it.
Whoa. You just can't drop a bomb like that on me. I have my suspicions. I think that the DNA was right where, just imagine a snap and you push it,
yes,
and open it. That's obviously where the DNA is going to be.
I think the opening part is the most significant because on the underside of the button, it's got an edge there. And I think that as you move that button, you click it and it makes a distinctive pop, Nancy. It could rake off skin cells right there. I think that this is probably touch DNA, but what's more important to me, what tells us, what really gives us an insight into this case, Nancy, is that this sheath comes equipped with a belt holder. And why that is important is the fact that if you're so prepared, if you thought this thing out, this massacre.
Well, he bought it 7 months ahead of time, so he's thinking about something. He didn't need that teaching his classes.
Why in the hell don't you have a belt on? Why don't you have a belt on that secures this knife? Why is it that you have left this sheath there at the scene? Maybe you've prepped. We've heard he's dressed all in black. Did you not have the ability to put on a belt? Are you wearing something that doesn't have belt loops, like a pair of pants? Are you wearing coveralls?
What if he had it on the loop of the pants and it came disattached?
It could have been. And
just going to put in my opinion here. I think he was wearing more coveralls to where there was no belt attachment. And I don't think that he even thought about attaching the actual K-bar knife to a belt. I think he just walked in with it in his hand. When he got upstairs, he probably took it out. And then when he took it out, I think that he just got messed up in the moment. I mean, once you're there and you're committing the crime, if it was Bryan Kohberger, it's a little bit different than you practicing it at home. So things are probably going to go, awry. And I think that's what kind of happened. Also, the pictures that I'm showing you guys right now are pictures that I took whenever we went to California. We were at a mall that had K-bar knives. Very strange. But we went in and we did I have a video. I need to post that actually still. I showed it to you guys on a live, but I have a video and it shows like how, like the K-bar, like how much it weighs and stuff like that. And I just kind of like, you can hear me talk about it. So I will get that posted though for you guys. Thank you guys all for being here. Also, I'm going to get back to the podcast. If you guys don't mind just taking a second, hitting the like button, it really helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all things true crime.
We don't know anything about the nature of the sheath either. You know, like is the loop, the attachment loop on the sheath itself, is it compromised structurally in some way? Has it been torn or broken? We don't know that. But I think that it's a reasonable question to say, why don't you have this thing secured on your belt? I was in the military. I had a knife in the military. It was always secured on my person. I'd get my butt chewed out if I didn't. Why? And they're made that way. And K-bars are made that way. Marine Corps carried them for years and years. They are made to be secured on your person. That sheath was not. It was found at the scene.
And you have to think about going into battle like a Marine. They don't want their hands full. That's the first thing I learned walking through the projects, trying to find witnesses, walking in downtown inner city Atlanta. You want your hands free. You don't want you holding your pocketbook or holding your no. Just like this scenario, you need the knife attached to you if you're going into battle. I can just see him doing that. Why would he walk into this home holding the knife, holding the sheath? You're right. You're absolutely right. But I believe that you were non-responsive because my question was about the clicks. I thoroughly enjoyed your conversation about the belt loop, but can we get back to what we can learn from the clicks? Because Karen Stark joining me, psychologist joining us out of New York, TV, radio trauma expert at KarenStark.com, Karen with a C. Karen, this guy is so anal. What are we going to learn from all those clicks? We're going to learn so much.
Well, because he's anal, he's organized and obsessed, right, Nancy? So he's looking at knives. I wouldn't be shocked if he wasn't looking at all different types of knives and which would be the best one to use. And maybe he's even looking at what he's going to wear. So he's looking at clothing that's black because he's been reported.
Yeah, what is that? Everyone dresses up like a ninja. They've seen way too many action movies. Go ahead, Karen Stark.
They want to blend into the night, right? I mean, this was, we're laughing, but this for him was a project and a really big deal.
I'm not laughing.
Yeah. I mean, well, so the truth is there's so much to be gained from the clicks, right? Because whether it's the clothing, whether it's the knife, whether it's the shoes he's going to wear, he thought about every single one of these things. This is an intense guy who planned this out very carefully. Think of how quickly he did it, right?
He really did. And this knife and knife sheath, as Joe Scott Morgan and I were just talking about, were purchased 7 months prior. I want to go to Chris McDonough. You know him well from his YouTube channel, The Interview Room, but he is the director at the Cold Case Foundation, former homicide detective, over 300 investigations under his belt. You can also find him at coldcasefoundation.org. Chris, can we just talk about the clicks? What would you expect to find? Because you heard the news report from our friends at KREM. The search warrants were obtained over the summer. They want all the customer information on Amazon, Apple, and PayPal. So apparently that's what they found on his phone. They don't want just what he ordered, but they want all of his clicks, everything he did. Now, the knife is obviously super important. Anything we can find about his searching for a particular kind of knife. Why? Take a listen to our friends at Daily Mail.
The knife sheath was also dropped to the right of Maddie's body with the killer's DNA on the snap. That always felt to me like this is where the murders began, that the killer snuck in, unsnapped the sheath, and pulled the knife out for the first time, dropping the sheath in the process, effectively marking his start point. Now, the sheath was discovered by investigators on the mattress partially underneath of Maddie's body. So I really do think he dropped it right when he unsheathed the knife for the first time.
Yeah, that's Caitlin Becker. She's absolutely right. So Chris McDonough joining us from The Interview Room. What are we going to learn in those clicks?
Nancy, every one of those clicks individually will reveal thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And that will turn possibilities into probabilities.
What do you mean? How can it click?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt Chris McDonough, or maybe I did. But no, personally, this is just my personal opinion, and you guys can give me yours in the comment section. I think that he dropped the knife sheath when he saw Kaylee come into the bedroom. I think that he was in there. He had it in his hand. Maybe he had the control over it, or he actually knew where it was sitting. But then when I believe Kaylee came in the room, I don't think she was in the room to begin with. I think that's when he dropped it. And he was like in a frenzy at that point. So let me know what you guys think, though. Why do you think that he left the sheath there?
On Amazon or PayPal, reveal your thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Because that's really the definition of behavior. And so by engineering or reverse engineering all of that movement that Kohberger was making pre-incident, i.e. killing these college students here, it gives us an insight into where he was going and how he was going to get there. And that is extremely important, not only for the trial coming up, as you know more than anybody, but also for the investigators to continue to move this investigation forward. I think we forget this investigation is still moving. I don't think they have all the eggs in the basket yet. And this is a good example of listening to this, analysis in this panel.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. I was going to say
well,
that.
we know, Chris, they do have more information. We're on the outside looking in. Joe Scott was saying this earlier, and he's right. The state or the defense has no duty to tell us anything. They're working their cases, or at least they better be working their cases. But I like what you just said, Chris McDonough, that every click shows your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions. When you first said that, I thought, no way. Because if you look at what I do online, Instacart, green vegetables, this, that, Amazon, socks for John David, a sweatshirt, a this, a that. It's the same thing over and over every day. But that does reveal my thoughts, my feelings, and my emotions. I'm one of those people that believe if you want to be close to your children, make it happen. And what brings people together better than a good supper? Nothing. So that's my time, and I plan it. And that's where my feelings and my thoughts and my emotions are when I'm not working a case like this. So what you just said is actually really revealing. I was thinking about, Jackie, what was the name of the lady? First name Ann with an E. New England. The husband said she was leaving for the airport.
Walsh.
Yes.
Anna,
yes. Do you remember I just gave myself chills. Do you remember his searches? They're enough. See, you're laughing. It actually makes my stomach hurt. How long does it take? How long will a dead body smell? How do I do this? How do I do that? Is there evidence somebody goes to the airport? Is there evidence somebody gets on a plane or does? I mean, it revealed everything. And with me right now to speak to this issue, a name you know or should know well, Lee Reber, mobile device forensic expert, CEO, Washington Forensics, author, Mobile Forensic Investigations. Mobile Forensic Investigations. That's a book, Lee Reber?
Hey, everybody loves mobile phones, right? And
wait a minute. Is that a book? You wrote a book, Mobile Forensic Investigations?
Yeah. Even a couple of
Holy moly! I've got to read this. A lot of people want to read the bestseller list off the New York Times. I want to read Mobile Forensic Investigations. Oh, and you're host of a podcast, Forensic Happy Hour. Boy, you're busy. Thank you for making time with us. Yeah. For us, Lee Reber, explain to me how this is happening and the significance of these searches and what else you think we're going to find.
No, I think the digital footprint, this is going to be huge for this case.
Now, remember, you're speaking to a bunch of Luddites like me. Slow it down, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, people today, right, the searches that they use, I love the, trying to, and I suffer for your kids, but people, and you start thinking about your own searches on either Amazon or really any search engine.
Oh, my stars. I looked at my husband's searches. It was horrible. My eyes started bleeding. It was all about mergers and acquisitions and business stories out of the Wall Street Journal. I nearly fell over. I'm not going to do that again for a while. Go ahead.
But what's important as well is if we look back at those text messages, that allegedly, during the crime, right, that they had between the two roommates. What's important to that is you look at now a timeline.
Wait. I'm not accepting that, number one. I'm not saying that those text messages happened during the attacks. I'm saying somebody reported that, and the father said that didn't happen.
What I'm saying is we need to take those along with, think about the infotainment center that's within a car.
Yeah.
Right? That car has a navigational system in it. It's built within it. Even if you're not going and navigating to a point, it's still tracking your location. It's still showing where you're at. He allegedly, turned his phone off. Well, you can't turn the car off.
Oh, hold on. Just let me follow up on what you're saying. Nicole Parton with me, crimeonline.com investigative reporter. Nicole, while you're sitting there, can you find out if his Elantra, I think I know the make and model, the year, I'm thinking it was a 21. But that said, can you see, Nicole, if it had a nav system? You may already know that, knowing you do. But while Lee Reber is talking, can you look that up, please? Okay, Lee Reber, go ahead.
Yeah. Going back to even 2011, the Hyundai, the Elantra had a nav system in it that was built within it. So those cars come with it. I'm not quite sure on the year of what he had. However, looking at that information, and now the defense is saying, well, he took lots of night drives, trying to do that. Well, I think you'll be able to tell that within that infotainment center. And I'm assuming.
Okay. Well, see, I'm drinking from the water hydrant, the fire hydrant again. It's too much, too fast. Wait.
Right.
You're right. Do you know, Lee Reber, what was my next topic of discussion? Which, of course, my little map I make out for our discussions, we never stick to that. But what about his alibi? How can we prove? Didn't we talk about that right before you? Prove or disprove his alibi? And you're so right. Why didn't we think of that? You know what? Brilliant. So if the Elantras have had nav systems since 2011, if they keep the information going back that far, we can look at it and find out if that's true, since he claimed he always went by himself, Lee Reber. That's convenient. You're absolutely right. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just a computer system, able to remove that. There's plenty of forensic software that allows the ability to investigate that data. And we haven't even talked about as well, there's a Ring camera that was able to capture something from across the street in initial reports. So, now you have searches, you have travel with a vehicle, you have text messages that might have been occurring at that time. I think, again, now taking the digital life, right, that digital footprint of an individual or the individuals, the victims and those survivors, I think there's a ton of data that's going to come out at trial.
Progress.
This question, what do I file a lawyer?
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace.
Tara Malik, partner in Smith & Malik, high-profile lawyer, joining us out of this jurisdiction. When you try a case, I don't know if you were like me, I had to, quote, marshal my evidence. I had to figure out what exhibit goes with this question. What do I have to prove this point? What do I have to prove this point? Be it eyewitness testimony, a fingerprint, a hair, whatever. You have to marshal your evidence if you want to win, that is. If not, you can just go in willy-nilly and just find out what but one, I don't think a lot of people have picked up on.
I don't know why she's echoing, but that's weird. Must be the podcast.
He said the Elantra, dating back to 2011, has a nav system. So this alibi that Ann Taylor, the defense lawyer, has cooked up and thrown at us, that can be proven or disproven very easily.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, and I agree with you. I mean, when you're putting a case together for trial, you don't want to take the shotgun approach, just going in there and asking a bunch of, random questions. And I once worked for a judge who called it the Christopher Columbus approach to trial, which is you get out of the, counsel's table, you walk towards the witness, you ask a bunch of questions, and you sit back down again. You don't know where you've been, and you don't know where you ended up and where you're going.
And you accidentally landed on America looking for a trade route.
That's right. Don't do that. And so you're right. You have to organize your evidence in a way under each of the elements that you have to prove. And how you do that, there's a variety of different ways. But Lee is right. I mean, there's a lot of ways that this alibi could be disproved, including using the navigation system. And that's the reason why, the law requires you, when you're going to claim an alibi, to provide enough information where it gives the other side, where it gives the prosecution the ability to figure out what they need or what they don't need to either confirm that alibi in fact is true, or to disprove it. Because we don't do, guerrilla warfare in trial. It's not trial by surprise here. And the fact that it took so much to get the defense to even provide and meet the requirements of providing an alibi, to me means that, there's something fishy going on here.
Well, there's another thing. Nicole Parton joining me, crimeonline.com investigative reporter. Isn't it true that the state has already nailed down Kohberger's pings from his phone the night of the murders? If they could do that, couldn't they ping all the other nights he claims he was out on night drives?
Absolutely. They claim they have already pinged those. They know exactly where he was. And you're absolutely right. Even on the base model of his car, that GPS system is always engaged. So wherever he was supposedly driving around, we can see that right on the car.
I'm just thinking everything through. Here's another thing. There's not a thing Kohberger can do about getting all that information from Amazon and PayPal and Apple Pay. There's no way they're going to be able to suppress it. Why? Take a listen to our friend Jules Epstein, Temple law professor.
I should add here, nobody has a right to object to a search warrant directed to Amazon. We don't own that private information under United States Supreme Court case law. When you give information to a third party, you share your credit card, you make purchases, and they keep that information, it's not yours. And so there is no absolute privacy interest where you can say, hey, my rights were violated when you searched my Amazon account. It's just not there.
There's no standing. For instance, say a cop goes and breaks down Jackie's front door and finds her pot stash. FYI, she doesn't smoke pot. I can't go into court and go, I want that suppressed under the Fourth Amendment. You don't have a warrant. I don't have what we call standing. In other words, no leg to stand on. It's not my place they broke down the door to. Same thing here with Amazon. There's no way, there's no complaint that he can make that any of that evidence, whatever it may be, can be suppressed. So we're not going to get an argument out of that. The trial date of October 2 obviously has come and gone. So what are we going to do now? When will it go to trial? I believe that a lot of electronic evidence is still being amassed. And while they are gathering that evidence, we have recently heard from Stacy Chapin. This is Ethan's mother. Listen.
My name is Stacy Chapin, and I'm Ethan's mom. And I actually didn't sit through it because it's too hard to watch, but I do want all of you to know that these were 4 of the greatest kids, and that all of the great things that you read about them is legitimately true. And I can speak on behalf of my own son, who was an incredible human. And we miss them all terribly. But it's a very strange situation to be. I'm not a true crime follower, but I am now thrust into the epicenter of something that has become pretty incredible. But anyways, don't forget these kids. I appreciate, I did watch the beginning where you spoke a little bit on behalf of all 4 kids. And they're amazing. They were amazing kids in the prime of their life. So that's all I just, thank you.
I met Stacy at CrimeCon, and what a lovely, warm, brilliant, articulate person. Still struggling, still making her way. But remember, she has other children, and she's trying to be strong for them. Nicole Parton, joining me, crimeonline.com investigative reporter. She is especially angry about people that suggested that this was somehow a murder-suicide by Ethan. Nothing we've heard suggests that is true.
Nothing at all. And I was there when she stood up and spoke and talked about heart-moving and heartfelt. I understand totally why she would be angry at these outright lies and allegations. Ethan was completely innocent in all of this. And as a mother, both of us can definitely relate to the heartbreak she must be feeling.
You know, Chris McDonough, I think part of it is the intense speculation about what happened, because so many of the facts are shrouded in mystery, and they may remain shrouded if the judge closes the courtroom to cameras.
You know, what a powerful message she gave from not only the fact that she spoke with authenticity and the pain and the depth that you could hear and feel. That moment she presented the messaging. It reminds all of us of our responsibility to just, sometimes slow down and take a look at what's happening, not only in a social media aspect in terms of where we are as a society and how, quickly we can judge and make comments like that about a young man, doing this, and when in fact he's the actual victim. I understand that. Nancy, you understand that.
Oh, I do. Chris, you're so right. I've had so many stories spin out about my fiance Keith's murder, that he was at a liquor store. Nothing could be further from the truth. He went out at lunchtime to go get other people's soft drinks to take back to a construction site, to this, to that. And I remember the first time I ever spoke about that publicly, it was with Larry King. And out of the blue, he asked me the date. And I remembered, of course, August the 6th, but I blanked on the year. Can I tell you all the hate I got because I had the year wrong? And it got spun out to where just all kind of wild, crazy conspiracy, speculation. It was very hurtful, much less what Ethan's mother is going through with people and their evil tales about how this was a murder-suicide. That is not true.
It's unbelievable that it would even come to that messaging, because it continues to be this step of pain that this family will go through all the way through the trial. And quite frankly, even the impact statements will never change the reality of their daily life. So, my heart goes out to them and to this family.
It really, really does. The pain these families have been going through. Karen Stark, what is wrong with people? Why do they intentionally spin out lies, hurtful lies, like that the Idaho murders was a murder-suicide and Ethan was the perp? That's not true. Can you imagine the pain this is causing his family?
And you can hear it in her voice, Nancy, the pain. Of course, the pain will always be there. And people are good and bad, right? I mean, there are wonderful people in the world and there are evil people in the world. And especially now that there's social media, people can just comment anonymously and start rumors and spread them. And they actually get something from it. They feel good about doing that, even though it's hard to comprehend. And so we have to be really careful about paying attention to those kind of rumors that are just evil and hurtful and terrible for the families involved.
Guys, we are waiting for a new trial date as the state and the defense continues to amass evidence for their cases. Goodbye, friend.
She said goodbye, friend. So that was, I think that was pretty good, Nancy Grace. I have something on my neck. Oh, I forgot I moved her closer to me too. She scared me when I got up. I need to fix her. I need to fix her scarf. It's not sitting on her very good. But there she is. Oh, there she is. She's behind me, looking down on me. When I got up a minute ago, it spooked me. I had to get up for a second. I was like, what? Nancy. I know, is she the coolest DM? I love her. I love her so much. Yeah, so those I don't know about that truth and translucent. I think that I remember hearing something about murder suicide in the beginning. I think that it was something that somebody was making up along the way, like right in the beginning, like before Bryan was even arrested. Maybe that's where she got it. She has a scarf on. Yeah, I put a scarf on her today. I was like, I'm going to dress her up a little bit because you guys have been asking me to put a scarf on her. I kept forgetting. So I was like, oh, there she is. And she has on like this yoga scarf. It's a pretty nice little scarf. But I do have another podcast to play for you guys over the Idaho case. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know as well. I don't really have any questions about it, really. I just thought it was a really good podcast. I'm glad that they're like coming out and like getting answers from Steve himself. Like we watched the Court TV like clip before Nancy Grace, and they were talking about how I just slipped my mind about how, you know, the Airmail article was, you know, bunk. It wasn't true. That Steve Gonsalves actually came out and made a statement to Court TV that was even more in depth than the one that we've seen on other posts. And then we just did, yeah, everyone's a suspect. They just did a Facebook post that we went over. We went over that in the beginning of the live as well. So they've reached out to a few different like places, like throughout social media, just to kind of say like, we usually don't talk about this stuff because, you know, like articles that come out, but this one was untrue. Now, I know that there's a Newsweek article that a lot of people have read through, like on their channels and stuff. That has a lot of misinformation in it as well. They had to retract a lot of, like a couple things in that. They retracted, I guess they put it back out, but it still has misinformation in it. Like just little things. You know, the year of the car was wrong, like just like little things like that. But it's little things like that that, you know, like we're going to catch and we're going to be like, this article is bogus. But yeah. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad everyone's a suspect. I like your name too. I really like that name. The corner woman mentioned it. Wow. Lisa, I love Ethan's parents. Like, I love his parents. I think that his parents are very, very, very kind people, very sweet people. If I was around them, I would probably cry. I also think Christy, Kaylee's mom, has some sort of calming factor about her. I remember one night I was like really upset about something on the live. Like, I don't know, it was in the beginning of the case and I would get upset about stuff. But I came on the live and we heard a clip from Christy and she like calmed me down. And then I like was going to like, you know, do my thing. And I couldn't even, I was like, I can't even be mad now because Christy calmed me down. She didn't even mean to. So, hey, Cheryl. Oh, okay. At the second presser, we watched through the press conferences, but it's been a little while. So on my playlist, I have a bunch of stuff on the Idaho playlist. A lot of documentaries, a lot of, like theories that like what I think happened, which my theory hasn't changed. It's still the same. Really? Oh, I didn't know that they removed Santa from all of Ethan's photos. I wonder why they like want to separate the two kind of, but maybe it's because they didn't really know her. I don't know. I don't know how that works when a child is taken like that, you know? Ooh, 52, but that's cold. It's actually like 75 here, 72 here. It's nice. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful. The sun will be going down here soon, actually. Oh, that's sad. I hate when the sun goes down. It makes me sad. Oh yeah, let me show you the Dickies really quick. Someone was asking about the Dickies. And I pulled them up. I couldn't get it to save because I was trying to get it to save so I could show you the picture. Like on the overlay. But this is what I'm thinking that he was wearing, something like this. And I think I said this in my video back in January. Because we looked at Dickies coveralls. I did hear, I heard some things about like the cutting and stuff. Like I heard that there was, I heard it was pretty bad, like really bad. I couldn't imagine being at home thinking but that's where you're safe. That is where you're safe. I told you guys the other day, someone tried to walk into my place. Like, I don't even know who that lady was to this day. And I have a Ring doorbell camera, but I saw my door, like literally the doorknob went down. Like she tried to open it and my dogs were going nuts. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I ran into the bathroom, was hiding, like hiding with my phone. And I'm like calling Vincent, like, can you tell me who's at the front door? Because I don't have the Ring app on my phone. He does, and he's at work. And he's like, yeah. And he's like trying to send it to me. And he's like, yeah, it's an older lady, looks homeless, kind of. And I'm like, what? So then he sends it to me. And it's this lady. She has like toboggan, like a hat on, what are they called those? Like a beanie, like a hat. And I don't know, she's at my door way too long for it to be a mistake. Like oh my gosh, I walked into someone's apartment. There was no reaction like that. There was no like, she opened the door and was like, oh, this ain't my house. You know what I mean? And I live in the back, all the way in the back, the last door in a nook. Like you have to come into this little nook, my little nook. It's my little spot, like to even get to my like place. Still don't know who that was, but I'm glad I leave the doors locked. And now when I take the dogs out, we have a door that locks downstairs. I don't know how she got in because she knocked on this door. She buzzed my door and I was like, who's here? And I'm one of those people, I get terrified when someone knocks on my door. It's a PTSD thing I have from when my dad passed away. And so it's just something that I freak out about. So I was like, who is at that apartment? I was like, it must have been the wrong number. Then all of a sudden my door's coming open. I'm like, someone's trying to open my door. And I'm like, what is going on in life? So thank God I have 2 dogs that barked. And, she left. I mean, couldn't get in, but yeah, if anything like that happens again, I'm coming live. So if you see me live, you run from doors, knocks me too, Catherine. I do too. I really do. I hide every time. My dad was killed in a car accident. And when the cops came to knock on the door, that's just something that I will never unhear. So I can't unhear that. So like when someone knocks on my door, if they don't do like the friendly knock, that dun, 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 that's what I call the friendly knock. Then I have an anxiety panic attack immediately. And I can't help it. It really sucks. Really sucks. There goes my camera again. Well, that's time for me to get off here, huh? There goes my camera again. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm going to have Vincent come in here and figure that out today. Maybe it'll turn back on. Now it looks like I don't want to see you guys. But I do. I don't know why my camera's not turning back on. It's being very funky today. It's having a moment. Amanda said I do too, but just because I'm a baby. Oh, no, I'm the same way. I run and I hide from locked doors. Or not locked doors, I'm sorry, knocks on the door, and I just don't like it. My camera won't come back on. That sucks. Well, I just have to have Vincent fix that. If I pull out the other cord, it'll turn all the monitors off. That usually fixes it, though. Yes, I've never seen a Doorbell Mania, but I've seen like shows where there are people on people's Ring cameras like doing some weird stuff. Catherine, one of these days we'll be okay with a knocked door. Have them do the friendly knock, like I said. That's what it really does help. Like, I don't know. Just always call before you go to me or Catherine's house and Amanda's. Just that's so funny. Just call before you come. Man, I really wish my camera was working. I keep doing that. You know, it makes me upset when it doesn't work. I don't even like talking through the ring, ALR said. I usually don't even talk through the ring. I just run. I run and hide. Well, because our thing is we live in an apartment, but we live in a building inside of a building. So you have to open the bottom door in order to get up to the top. Yeah, I have to stop sharing the screen. But in order to get up to the top, like, you know, to the second floor, you have to come through the bottom door and it stays locked. But our door has kind of been broke where if you don't shut it, sometimes it doesn't shut all the way. And they're putting new doors on right now, actually, like as we speak. They're putting new doors on all the buildings because they just renovated everything. So that shouldn't be a problem anymore. But oh man, hopefully no one comes and gets me. I feel weird not having my screen on. It feels like I'm like back when I used to never have my screen on. I don't know. Here, we'll end the poll before I jump off of here. I may come back on tonight. You never know. So it says, do you like day lives better? And 70% said yes, 30% said no. I'll leave it up for just a couple of minutes or like a minute longer if everyone wants to vote. But we have 115 votes in. So 70% said yes so far and 30% said no. And once I hit the end poll, it'll end up saying something else. The math always doesn't equal 100. It's very weird. But I hope you guys are having a really good day today. It's almost the weekend. Almost the weekend. ALR, I have one spot where I cannot be seen. It's exactly 3 feet by 2 feet. I hide there. That sounds like me when I used to work at a boutique. I knew all the hiding spots where the camera wouldn't be like looking at me. Like I would always just like hide in those spots. I'd have Vincent come in and tell me where to stand. I'm like, where do I stand so I could just like not, you know, be on camera? Cheryl said, I hate when people message me late at night to buy something from Facebook Marketplace. I hate when they text you and they're like, send me a code. And you're like, I'm not doing that spam bot. That's why I never I never sell anything on Marketplace anymore. And you guys should see the amount of items I have. I own a clothing store and then I have my own stuff that I need to sell. Like, oh my Lord, have mercy. I've got it all. But if you guys want to ever shop at my store, I'll drop the link because it's a cute little boutique store. And I run sizes 0 through 24 right now. Almost maybe 26 actually. Let me see if I can get it in the chat. But it's called Poppy and Ari. It's my other passion. It's a little boutique. And so one side is the studio, the other side is my boutique. It's fun around here. It's so much fun. But right now we're renovating everything and we're going to move the boutique store somewhere else. And we're going to keep this room the way it is. Yeah, they do. Yeah. They have all day to do, as Cheryl said. Oh, I think I missed it. Oh, I didn't see that. I must have missed something. That's okay. Oh, heavy rain in Florida. Oh, well, be careful. I hope that's okay. Oh, good Lord, Mama. Yeah, definitely. I have household items. So I have like anything from like candles to like pillows. Wish my camera would turn on because I have some actually sitting behind me. And then I have like clothing, accessories. Yeah, I got it all. I got a little bit of everything. I should do something like that. Oh, thanks, Riddler. This picture of me is, I was actually in a boutique store right there. That was when I worked at a boutique. That was on a Monday. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I slayed that outfit. I don't have it anymore. I wore it one time on a Monday and I sold it. I have the jacket still. But it's one of my favorite pictures. I think that picture is probably now, it's probably it's like 3 years old now. Wow. Oh, what is shipping like to Canada? I don't know, actually. But I can definitely look into that. It shouldn't be that bad because it's just Canada. You know, it's not too far. Because I know that I do in the US. I should be able to do Canada though on my website. Oh, they've had twisters today. Oh, wow. Yeah, really be careful. Okay, well, I'm going to jump off of here for now. I do have some other like updates to give you guys for other cases. So don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We do cover every case that's out there right now, pretty much. I think we're covering them all. I think the only case that we're not covering is Karen Reed. And that's the only, just one we're not covering. Oh, thank you, Teresa. That's so nice. Or is it Teresa? Teresa? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to see about that, Victorine. Yeah, for sure. Because I need to be able to ship to Canada. That's not too far. I mean, like for me to drive to Canada is only, well, I don't know now because I live somewhere different. But it used to be only like 5 hours, 6 hours to drive there or something. Like it wasn't that far. It didn't seem like anyway. So maybe 6 hours, 7 hours, but it didn't seem like it took us that long to get there. So if anything, I'll just meet you in Windsor. You're probably like, that's clear across the continent. But thank you guys all for being here today. I do appreciate you guys so much. I'll be back, like I said, either tonight or tomorrow with a live. So I will see you later on and have a great day and be kind to each other. And thank you for watching. Bye, guys.